3 in HD1 Evanston, Chicago. This is the Vintage House Show. I'm your host, Rocky Floyd, for the evening. I have the honor and privilege to have in the studios Mr. Timmy McAllister. I call him Timmy Mac. He is the Mac Edit man. We're going to sit and listen to him play some music for a little bit. And then we're going to sit down and grill him. Okay, so go ahead and enjoy, and I'll be right back. Oh, I need to have the damn thing on. I didn't turn that on. That's why. And I took the Zeta back down because he didn't want that played yet because he's gonna play some of the songs that I've got on there.
So you put Zeta back on?
Yeah, and I just brought it back down. So
because I was like, why are you not on the air? That's
right.
Weird. Okay.
So
I gotta go back and check and make sure because I was like,
I think this is him.
That should not be. It should be SB1. You just have to turn it to if there's no street beat one on. So you have to turn it to
SB1?
Yeah. So that is what's supposed to be on. We may need to bring him up a little bit.
Okay. Turn the yeah. See how that was going up too?
He's supposed to be on SB1.
Okay.
It's not.
Seems like no one else will. Wanted you. Need to be flowing you.
SB1 going up or no?
It did when I turned that up.
That stops it from being SB1. It has to be back to SB1, so you don't want to move that.
Okay. Okay.
A little higher.
Yeah.
But you stay to hurt my soul.
This is WNUR Radio, 89.3 FM, HD1 Evanston, Chicago. Right now you are listening to Timmy McAllister. This is the Vintage House Radio Show. Your host, DJ Rocky Floyd.
Shame on you. I shouldn't put the blame on you. Guess you love me much too. Like the other stars they come. You're so fine. You're so fine.
Yeah, no.
You're so fine. I'm gonna try and make you mine.
With the show I did with Snooze and Derek Deacon. I love that room, and that room is ridiculous. I was like, University of Chicago. I love that room. But you know, they actually had to take all of that out. All of that stuff out. It was so many creatures.
I will make it.
Been there forever.
I don't know. Time will pass and time will go.
I was. They never said anybody anything. Never cleaned the rug.
We will.
I was like, because the last show I did, I got a letter the next day. We're gonna be closed for 3 weeks.
We will.
I think it. They might have put them all back, but whoever did it originally, everything was categorized alphabetically. You take all of them out and put back. I don't know. Like,
Here I am alone again.
whatever goes.
Wait by the phone again.
unless they rewire it wrong. Yeah.
Life's an opportunity to take in all the good times, combine them with the bad, and breathe. Don't you worry about a thing. Music is healing. The road to happiness is paved to the sound of the music. Just keep walking away until you feel it. Music's all I need. Music is my life. It's a dance floor. Stars are party lights. As we groove on the dance floor. Music is my life. And the world is a dance floor. Stars are party lights. As we groove on the dance floor. Music is a special thing. Speaks to everybody. Designed with us in mind of what life can bring. Vibrations traveling. Welling in my heart is a love spray. Love will fall like rain when you learn to dance and release your pain. Music has a way of revealing the good that's in your heart.
WPUR 89.3 FM, 81 FM, Chicago. Vintage House Show. Listening to the sound of DJ Vintage House Show. A couple more songs, and we're going to sit down and talk up with it.
Stars are party lights as we groove on the dance floor. Music is a life, and the world is a dance floor. Stars are party lights as we groove on the dance floor. Music is a life, and the world is a dance floor. Stars are party lights as we groove on the dance floor. Music is a life. Music is a dance floor. Stars are party lights. On the dance floor. Music is a life. It is. Music is a dance floor. Stars are party lights. As we groove on the dance floor. Music is a life. And the world is a dance floor. Stars are party lights. As we groove on the dance floor. Music is a life. Music is my life. It's a dance floor. Stars are party lights. As we groove on the dance floor. Yes, it is. Music is my life. Whoa. Music is my life. Music gives me life. Music gives my life. Music gives me life. Music gives my life. Music is my life. Music is my life. Music gives me life. Music gives my life. Music gives me life. Music gives my life. Music is my life. Music is my life. Music gives me life. Music is my life. Music gives me life. Music is my life. Music special pain. Music is a special thing.
Reverb says, is that Tim? Yeah.
When you learn to dance and special pain. Music is a special thing. When you learn to dance and special pain.
All right, after that one, just gonna let that play out, then we can go ahead. After that, just go ahead, we'll let that play out. It's only like 3 minutes long anyway. All right. 89.3 FM. This is an HD1 Evanston, Chicago. This is WNUR. You are listening to the Vintage House Radio Show. I am your host tonight, DJ Rocky Floyd. I have the honor and privilege of having a person I have the utmost respect for in this game, Mr. Timmy McAllister.
All righty.
Mr. McAllister, good evening.
Good evening.
Why is it muting? I don't know. Why is it muting? Why is it muting? Why is it muting? Okay, it's muting. It says muting. Why is it muting?
It was coming through. I thought it was. says on there.
Okay, good. Okay, that's cool.
Muting on there. Can you hear me?
Well, it says I guess it says I'm on there too. I don't know. I'm just
It does say it's mute. It does say it's muting right there.
right. Mine says muting too, so it may not be on. Nonetheless, I'll just put something on the radio anyway. So, all right. So, Mr. McAllister.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're gonna get to the heart of things. We're gonna get things known. Okay. So, tell everybody a little bit of the background of Timmy McAllister.
Okay, I guess you are right. Okay, hold on, damn. Let me turn it. Okay, let me turn that off. Oh shit, let me turn this off. Wait a minute, hold on, damn, get out of here. No, okay. What's that again?
So tell me about Tim, and then tell me about Timmy Mac, the Mac Edits, so we can right. So
well, I mean that's the same person, isn't it? It's just, I'm the same person either way.
Well, yeah, okay.
Same person either way. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, I don't want to say I'm doing anything special that nothing that anybody else couldn't do. You know, I mean, it's I like doing, you know, I mean, it's like it's music, man, you know.
Right.
You know, I mean, we've been doing it since, you know, I was younger, little guy, you know, I could be doing a lot more, but, you know, sometimes you get comfortable in life and, you know, things, you know, don't work out the way, but, you know, I'm not saying things are bad for me, but it's like, yeah, I mean, as for me, Timmy Mac, I mean, you know, just me, the person, you know, I'm just a cool guy. I hope I am. I hope people think I'm cool, but, you know, that, you know, I could just be, you know, matter of opinion, of course, you know.
Absolutely. So
you know.
What got you into, because, well, I see you as two people. You are Timmy McAllister, the DJ, and then you are Timmy Mac, the producer. So tell me what got you into the DJing part of it, and then how did it?
Oh, I mean, right. Well, I mean, since like when I was younger, you know, I mean, my father's an artist. He's a graphic artist. Okay. So, you know, I mean, so we're already into art. Okay. Period. So then my uncle, who would he would buy music. You know, he like, you know, like we weren't. My family's religious, so we weren't allowed to listen to secular music. You
know, that word.
Right, exactly. We had to listen to, you know, well, we could listen to jazz though and gospel. So I learned a lot of gospel and a lot of jazz stuff. So, you know, we got a chance to do that. But I guess what got me into it, like I can say, well, I don't want to say my uncle, but yeah, the fact that, you know, sometimes he would be playing Parliament music records and he would have his door closed. Right. Of course, I sneak in there sometimes, you know, listen to it, you know, and you know, get that feel. But, you know, that was just like my first introduction to anything outside of gospel and jazz. But then when we get to high school, my brother was already 2 years ahead of me, and he met a couple guys in high school, and, you know, so I was still in grammar school, and so he would bring the stuff home, you know, bring music home, and the whole, you know, thing of, oh man, this is what, you know, I'm hanging out with these guys, you know, we're DJing. I was like Kenny Baker and Rob Burns. He calls himself Rob Alam. You guys see him on, yeah. That's kind of like first guys to introduce me to it.
Okay.
And so, you know, hanging out with those guys once I got in high school, and, you know, after that, you know, it just kind of like, you know, when I went to college, you know, it was kind of like, you know, well, when I went to college, it was kind of like, well, things kind of changed because, you know, I was in school. You know, I didn't take my records and stuff with me, you know, lost a lot because, you know, moving around. My mom moved around, lost her, you know, whatever.
Okay.
But, you know, so it was that. And so, I can't really say, I guess that's what got me into music. But the fact of, you know, just music itself got me into DJing. You know, okay. I mean, as, you know, like, hey, wait a minute, what's all this outside of this gospel music and outside of this, you know, jazz? Still jazz is, you know, that's, you know, I still love jazz, but you know, I mean, everybody, you know, well, you know, there's people who don't, but you know, right. You know, there's that pretense, you know, whatever. Like, okay, yeah, you're just trying to find some reason to hate it. But anyway, yeah, so you know, that's you know, just exploring, you know, just being inquisitive and, you know, wanting to you know, like even to this day, I mean, you know how it is. It's like, you know, I'm not sure what that statistic was, how many songs come out every day. And, you know, or right. like, you know, or like they talk about, iTunes. There's millions of songs on these download sites or whatever that people just don't know about, and they're just sitting there waiting for somebody to download it at least once. There's just so much music. I mean, so it's like you never get bored. And I guess that leads me into the whole reason why I call, like, I have Milk Music, MILC Music.
Okay.
Which is my label.
Okay.
And on Bandcamp, Milk Music on Bandcamp. Yeah, go out, shameless plug.
Right.
Yeah, right.
No, it ain't shameless.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm shameless. I ain't no shame. Right.
No shame whatsoever.
But so yeah, go to Milk Music, but Milk is an acronym: Make Infinite Likeable Cuts or Infinite Lovely Cuts.
Okay.
Because it's infinite amount every time.
Right.
But also, it's like it's also a matter of making it likable. Like there's this, I've talked to guys about this. There's an article I was reading a while ago about how, if your song, like, it's especially when the DJ gang. So, and this is before, even pitch control and all that. If your song is hard to play, this is what I've heard and I've read. If your song is hard to play, DJs aren't going to play it.
Correct.
So that's why I like to take songs that need it, not just doing songs that, oh, well, that's my song. Oh yeah, let's do it. No, leave that song alone.
Right.
So I'll go and make songs, or take songs that may need a edit to it, like that may need like a harder kick or something that it was missing or whatever. Just do that just to make it likable, make it lovable, make it easy to play, and make it so okay, because for me, like, I'm an artist, so I DJing is fine, but I was doing music first. I started, at least attempted to make music before DJing came along. Like when I was in grammar school, we had, all my family, my two brothers and sisters, we all had music lessons and everything.
Right.
So we were younger. So we were always into making it, or at least playing it, before DJing came along. And then once we got in high school, the DJing came along, like, okay, that's cool too. But it was always, some, I guess about just being inquisitive got me into it. Just, like saying, oh, well, what's this? What's that?
Okay.
Let's try something different. Let's do this, let's do that. But, that's what got me, there's a lot of, I can't say it was really one thing, but, just music itself, period.
Culmination of a couple of things.
Yeah.
No, I figure, I figure, I understand.
Yeah.
If a lot of people don't know, which would be shocking to me, I know the edits that are being played by most of the DJs in Chicago by you are tremendous. You can listen to the diligence and work that you put into it, because it's not just thrown together. And people who follow you on Facebook, when they see what you do, because I was watching something today about somebody asking you to stretch a song, and
yeah.
So again, people who pay real attention to the producers and artists that are in Chicago that we play and support, they know what you do. So what do you think about how the music is? I don't get into specific people, because that's just petty. What do you think about the music that's being made today? I mean, because I know, if you go to Bandcamp, if you go to Track Source, a lot of times there are a lot of these major people who are just re-editing,
right.
and re-editing.
Again, that's.
Right. I don't mind bad luck, but bad luck made by, and no offense to, there's a Joey Negro, then it'll end up being a Masters at Work, and then there'll be somebody else. At some point in time, when do you, or how do you feel about the progression of where it's going, and what we can do to make it a little different?
Well, that's, it's funny because you say that, because I found a version of Bad Luck, instrumental, it's a jazz version of it that I forgot who was by, but it was interesting, because I was like, yeah, like you just said, like, damn, another version of Bad Luck. Like, damn, another, and then there was who was that one guy? He does the parody. Luis Ramirez. That's what I found. Bad Luck by Luis Ramirez.
Okay.
There was one guy. He's like, he got bad FUCK.
Right.
It was like now, so it was like, okay. It was like, oh yeah, that was, but yeah, but that's the thing. Here in Chicago, everybody likes that. It's the revamp, rehash, do over again, play it some more, and then play it one more time because we just love these. We love, oh, that's my song. Oh, hey,
Right.
oh, that's my song. And that's fine. But it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, all right, that's great. We did it and it's done. And then at some point, you don't even play the editing, just play the original. I mean, but if it's a night, like, that's the thing for me. Like, I got into it, the editing thing, because like I always say, I edit like Larry Levan. It's like some songs needed, like, they had the short version or whatever, but then you had the 12-inch version, you made extended version. That's all I'm trying to do. Like, okay, at the beginning of the song, make a part that the DJ can bring it in, so it may be an 8-bar or whatever measure,
Right.
whatever some people want to say, whatever, make it so it can be brought in easier, and then, then let it flow as is. Sometimes, again, like if the kick is and the snares a little, weak, I might, add to that. But sometimes, lately I'm just kind of like, now think about stuff I've done before, like, maybe I shouldn't have put a kick there. But yeah, you add to it. You just take the songs, and then you got the Kiss Master Mix version. That's, like everybody knows, Can You Handle It?
Right.
But you don't want to be too repetitious with stuff. It's kind of like, that gets a little old. So that's me. And if you're gonna do stuff like Bad Luck, whatever, just do it to where it's like it has elements that you that it didn't have before, and not adding to it, but just taking those elements and rearranging them a little bit. Like the difference between a remake and a edit. Remake, remix, and an edit.
Right.
Remake with me, you take the whole song and you do your own version of it. Remix is me, you take what the original and range it. The edit is, just taking it and just chopping it up and, putting
Right.
these parts in front of it, looping, whatever. But yeah, the way things are now, it's like, yeah, I mean, especially here in Chicago, like, if you go to other places, or if you go in other, not just Chicago, I mean, one will say, if you go to certain scenes here in Chicago, that's it. Like I was thinking about that the other day. Like I went to see somebody play. I won't say who, but they were playing like Bruce Ivory. He goes the boom she, the boosh 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 boosh. Playing the boom, and I'm like, okay, but that's what people want. People want to hear. And you keep that going all that. But after a while, it's like, okay, play that for an hour, maybe two, but then start switching it up.
Right.
Play a little something different, play some disco, some up-tempo soul, and whatever, some R, whatever. Play something, a little different, and change it up for a minute, change it up, and then, go back to it. Right. Or either keep going, because there's so much music, that we could play. I mean, granted, when we're doing what we do, like again, like was talking to guys about this, like, you like got songs like, Walk the Night, which was a rock song,
right.
or like me and buddy was talking about Don't Make Me Wait was actually a funk song. Right. That wasn't necessarily a disco song or anything. It was a funk song, but we're playing it, because you're keeping a stream going, a music going, keeping a stream of music going. So, and you start off like, we used to start off like Heartbeat, slow songs, then speed it up.
Right.
And that was and it's funny. Well, that was another story about how back in the day there was no pitch control on turntables. So the guys used to have to go through, and this was a jazz thing. Guys used to go through and find what the tempo, like they were counting tempos back. This is back when DJ, and this was back in the what was I was trying to say first was like the 50s, maybe when DJ started, and they were counting the BPM just so they'd have songs that were within the same realm. Right. And so when they fade the other one in and fade the one out, it didn't sound like, it was all horses or whatever, right, whatever. So there was no pitch control. And like me and I forget who was that, Paulie Cicero, Pablo, yeah. He was talking about, like, yeah, you probably had guys back in the day was mad. Oh, you usually when the pitch control came out. Like, oh, you're using the pitch control, like the purists. That was purists. Right. Why are you using the pitch control? Just, right. You don't know your records, stuff like that, stuff like that. It's just like, okay, people find ways to just, but as for, the way music is now, it's hard to find. I mean, for me, I like to find stuff. Of course, everybody it's not, buying music is not an art. I know people will be like, what you mean? Like, no, you say, I like that song, I'm buying it. Right. I don't like that song, I'm not buying it. Right. There's no art to that. That's a matter of what you like and what you don't like. So that's what you do. So I usually, when we go wherever, Bandcamp, Track Source, whatever we're going, wherever we're going to buy music. Well, you know how it is. You'll go through
The whole list, right?
hundreds of songs. Like, geez, okay, and maybe find two. But then some days, you'll find like, oh damn, damn, I like, well,
Yeah.
okay, you'll find a bunch. And then in some cases that'll be what you got for the month or whatever. But then you go back to the other stuff, the old mainstays, that you like, stuff that you bought a while ago. It's like, oh, I can still play this. This will still work. This is nice. I like this. And that's how it should go. I mean, granted, you got stuff that you like, stuff that's new, stuff that people are gonna like. But the way music is going now with these edits and that's cool, but it's like, some stuff is, you got to say, don't do that.
Don't touch
just leave it.
Yeah,
just leave it alone.
Let that one be.
Or for that matter, what I've been doing also, like I've been taking like 45s that have side one, first part one on one side, part two, and just put them together.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I don't do anything special I do make them friendly. So it's like it's easier. So I did stuff for a couple friends of mine. He was like, hey, he came back, he's like, man, when I was mixing it was real easy to me. I'm like, you didn't see what I was doing you didn't see what I was doing when I was editing it. I was making it I do that first.
Make it DJ friendly.
Yeah, you do that first, and then the edits are even easier to do.
Right.
Of course, when I do
yeah, because because they always tell. I've always told anybody that I played with or anything like that, disco was always the hardest thing to do because there was never a steady flow,
right,
a steady beat in it.
Right.
So of course, the blessings of when they do make edits and stuff like that,
right,
they become DJ friendly.
Right.
But for some purists, like, no, man, we can't play that. You gotta play the original.
Right.
I'm like, okay, the debates that we have, especially in Chicago, amongst what we do, you're not a DJ if you don't play on vinyl. You're not a DJ. Right. It's just, I think the one thing that we, meaning the DJ community, should always do is just respect whoever plays and what they play on.
Uh-huh.
But there's always those.
It's the music. It comes down to the music regardless.
Absolutely.
If you played it on a if you're playing music on a Edison tube,
right?
As long as you play, as long as it's a nice cut.
I mean, I think we get so much caught up into, or some of us,
right.
We get so caught up in wondering if so and so like my mix,
mm-hmm.
or as you're DJing, you sit back and watch the DJs who are sitting in the crowd looking at you, and you're like, oh, I wonder if that was all right or not. I don't do that. I don't hardly even look up at the crowd anyway. So I DJ, I look at my music. So
right.
I mean, but we do so much to ourselves. We limit ourselves so much by trying to pay attention to the wrong people.
Right.
If there's people dancing,
right. That's what you should.
That's the purpose of what you're doing.
Right. And a lot of times, like I was watching videos of some guys, guys who are out there or whatever. And I'm looking at the crowd and I'm like, damn, there's a bunch of dudes. I mean, no offense, but I'm like, there's a bunch of where are the ladies?
Right.
Because the ladies like to dance. Ladies like to hear lyrics and stuff like they like to dance. Yeah. And then but then there are male dancers also. But everybody was just kind of standing around like they're critiquing the guy DJing. And I'm like, well, okay, that's cool, but am I playing for other DJs? I'm like, I'm playing for a crowd that came here to dance. A lot of times that's what happens. You're playing, and then guys are coming up to you, talk. My thing is, I'm like, look, nowadays some people are ruining music, period. Like, geez, okay, can we just love? I mean, can we go back to just loving music?
Right.
Like, and they're like the whole vinyl thing and versus, down. Like, there's this one group that I have. And my brother brought a tape, had a cassette, and we used to, listen to it. And so I don't know where the cassette is now. And I'm like, damn, I would love to, listen to that right now, right? So I went on like Discogs, and I went on a couple of different sites trying to find it. This album is only on tape. It's not even on vinyl.
Wow.
It's not even on vinyl. So you got guys that's like, oh man, if I can't play it on vinyl, I ain't playing it. Like, well, you're limiting yourself.
Right.
And then now, because like I was telling a friend of mine, we were talking, I was like, well, 1200s are the mainstay. 1200s are, you have a pair of 12, but now you got to have a set of CDJs,
Right.
be it the Denons or the Pioneers, whatever. You got to have, because now, like I was talking to, what was it? I know Sada, we was talking one time, and he's like, man, I got pieces, man, I don't want to take out. These shits is, expensive,
Right.
right? So it's like, put them on, a flat, but it's still a song.
Right.
Don't make a difference. Of course, you're like, well, you ain't playing it. Like, nah, it don't make a difference. As long as you got the song, you can play it. CDJs are that now, put it on the flash drive, put it on the CD or whatever, and now you don't have to worry about that song. And it's the same way every time, no
Correct.
snap, crackle, pop, no skips, no nothing, right? So CDJs are the mainstay now, or staple now. That's like you got your 1200. Well, you see my setup. I got 1200s down here, and CDJs right above it. So hey, you want to play records? Go and play records. You want to play CDJs? You want to play file? Play files. And that's so it comes down. And so regardless, it still all comes back to what are you playing? Are you playing some good music? Are you playing good music? Or that's relative also, because some people might not think, but. Like I said, you got guys, most of the time, like you get these guys and they got other people, other DJs are the main ones standing in front critiquing the guys. And then so like you're saying, you're not even concerned with them, which is what you should, love. It's like you should be thinking, okay, what am I going to play next? What am I going to play next? Right. And hopefully you got people dancing. Or or at least not leaving the party. That's what I'm saying. You got that situation where it's like as long as you don't have people just leaving,
right?
You're good too. Because sometimes people just want to groove. They want to sit there in the seat groove.
Right. See, I look for head nods and toe taps.
Right.
If you're doing that, then I know everything is right.
Because some people don't get up and dance. They don't get up and dance. They just like, oh, okay, all right.
And that's another. He's
grooving.
That's one of the things we have gotten so far away from that as well.
Right.
Because when we grew up. Going to Sawyer's or going to any place like that.
Right.
Nobody stood on the side. Everybody, you went in there to sweat and leave.
Right.
And of course, we've all gotten older. So, now it's become more of a gathering instead of a party.
Right. Yeah.
It's a gathering. Hey, how you doing? But I ain't seen you in a while. We sit over and have a couple of drinks. Oh, well, look, there go one song. Let's go dancing. Okay. They back on the side. But you got the truth. And I don't like using the term house head. You got true people who love house, that have been dedicated to be dancers to it from the day one.
Right.
You got people now that of course, I call them. I was there people. I was there for this. I was there when I was, people come, and that's the most important part of it. Because they still support the music,
right?
So that's the biggest part.
Which is what it's all about. The music is always and always will be.
It
will forever be about.
Should be
right.
Should be.
Well, yeah. But
I agree.
And then at the same time, there's that whole get in where you fit in thing. Some people, you got to have the people that want to listen to the music, that want to hear the music. You got to have those people. Got to have those people. If not, then everything dies. But like somebody was like. A friend of mine said, man, I'm about to retire from DJing. I'm like, how?
Right.
How you going to retire from DJing? Now granted, I get what he's saying, but I'm like, dude, so that means you're not going to listen to music no more? I'm like, so even it like for me, DJing, granted, blending is another thing. Beat matching what we do, that's one thing. That's part of it. But DJing is just playing song after song. You don't even have to blend it. You don't have to let the other one fade out, fade over.
Right.
And granted, like on your phone, you can DJ on your phone. It's crazy because I bought a lot of stuff on iTunes. So sometimes I buy it until I can find a better copy of it or somewhere else, right?
Right.
So I got a bunch of stuff that's in the cloud, whatever. So sometimes I get in my car and I'll just turn on iTunes and put it on shuffle, right? And I'll have like, dang, I didn't know. Because I'll buy whole albums, and I'm like, dang, I didn't realize I had this tune, And the phone is DJing for me, The phone, the song, this song, comes on, and when it goes off, it fades the next one in, or whatever, or it just plays the next, not fading in. But I'm like, yeah, my phone is DJing,
right?
My phone is DJing for me,
Even if you don't have to, it's doing it for you,
right? Exactly. It's not blend. It's not beat matching. No, it's not blending. It's not beat matching, but it is playing song after song, which is what DJing is all about,
I mean,
which has always been.
That's what you listen to on the radio.
Right, exactly. That's what they do. That's what disc jockey.
Right.
But exactly. That's what they do.
Right.
They're not blending. They're just playing song after
Bring
song.
one song is fading
right.
The other one right in.
The other one in. Right.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
And so so most if people want to do it, they can do it. So you retiring from it, if you still do that, if you buy, because you're never gonna stop buying music. I mean, I know I'll never, because I'll hear something like I always hear something and like I'll Shazam in a second.
Right.
I don't care, guys. Oh, you ain't doing it. I'm like, whatever. I love music so much.
That's what
I love music so much. I'm gonna Shazam because I want to know. Ooh, what was that? I want that.
So and that's another thing. So people, they will get mad if they say, I don't like people over my shoulder seeing what I'm playing, this, that, and the other, and so Shazam it. That way I'm not even bothering you.
Right.
I can get it. I can go home and buy it.
What's behind that? People think, because you got the guys, like you say, the purists that go out to the record store and they're like, oh, you ain't putting in the work. You ain't digging. You don't go to the record store and, but then I got guys who do go to the record store a lot and buy records. I got friends of mine now. They're like, man, I like shopping in my drawers online. I like shopping for music online in my drawers. Saturday morning, get up instead of going to the record store.
Yeah.
Like, shoot, let me see what I can find here. But then you still go. Like, I still buy records, whatever. If I find something I like, again, I might Shazam it. Hearing the guy playing, but that's still you looking for that's still
it's work.
That's still work.
It's work.
But these guys saying, man, so I went out and found the record and you just I'm like, okay, dude, hadn't heard that, but I'm pretty sure same thing with me. I could probably play something that you haven't heard, and if you say, first of all, you didn't make the song. This is for the artist.
I'm not copyrighting you. I'm not infringing yours.
Right. This is for the artist. Get that artist some exposure.
Right.
But there are guys out there that's like, well, no, man, I found. I'm like, yeah, but so if you found it, there's a chance somebody else found it, and there's a chance somebody else found it. There might be 8 other guys who got the same song, or 1 million guys who have the same song.
Well, they made more than one record.
Right, or they made
They made more than the one that you just got.
Right, exactly.
You just happen to stumble across it.
Right,
so,
exactly.
I mean, share the wealth, share the knowledge, because again, you never know where it's gonna, turn out to be good at that you're influencing somebody else.
Right.
I think because now we've gotten to we're in a certain age group now that this needs to be handed on,
right,
and or at least taught, maybe not even handed on, let's say taught, and the education is put out there for people to understand that, okay, a lot of the music today, or a lot of the music over the last 20 years has been influenced by the music that we grew up on,
right,
that we DJ with, that we started off with, that that my 600 crates in the corner over here is one of my songs. Somebody's playing today,
right,
in an edit, or even if it's just whatever it is, it's just educating the next generation so we can at some point hand it off. I don't think that most of us will ever stop being a DJ.
Yeah,
performing may be different, but it will always be a DJ because that's always been our innate nature to do so.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Find music, play music,
love
music. Find it, play it, love it. Sure. I mean, that should be everybody's mind, especially, but but again, then also there's too many of us. There's too many people. But that's like found out another friend of mine's a DJ. I'm like, dang, he didn't DJ in high school or whatever, right? And me and another friend of mine were joking. It's like, yeah, if we think like maybe 89, 90 was the cutoff for DJs. I mean, because it's like, it's always about like music that you before the 90s was probably and that was probably the best music, because now you got everybody rehashing, editing it, all that music from that time, up into the 90s, you got all that music is being redone now. I heard, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and was talking about this one DJ playing Fix It Man. And I'm like, I'm just like, okay. I mean, and you could just tell it was like, this person, was playing it, and you could just tell it was new to them. But it's like, hey, look, we played that like 30 years ago, and it's still a nice song. But it was like, but it was like, this person was out, of course, how, now it's like, oh, you got to be out there dancing and everything. And that's fine. But it's like, okay, that's cool that, that you found it, but hey, did you know what came after that? And there's so much more,
Right.
but now, because, that's the whole cycle of things. We did it. And then, then somebody else comes along and jumps on it like, oh, hey, like, yeah, we did that 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
Now you guys are just taking our stuff and, just,
I mean,
redoing it.
A lot of stuff gets recycled. I mean,
Right.
we recycle our fashion, we recycle our music. I mean, we've gotten to, it's hard to turn on the radio now
Mhm.
because half the music
Right. It's
doesn't fit really us.
right.
And I always tell this to everybody. It's like, because my dad could never understand my music, which I could
Right.
not understand why you didn't understand it. But
Right.
I sit here now and I look at my sons and I go, what
are
is
you
that?
right?
That's not even music.
Right,
That's
exactly.
no way. But
Right.
and so I mean, we always go through the vicious cycles, and we always end up rolling back to it in some way, shape, or form. I mean, we do a lot with the music and with art. Period. All our art is recycled. I mean, bell bottoms. We did bell bottoms.
Right.
Now bell bottoms came back. And
Right.
then
The
Levi's.
collars, right.
I mean, Levi's was
right.
the thing, and then
Right.
we went through a whole stretch of like from 2006 to 2016, where if you didn't wear Levi's,
Right.
So I mean, and did damage, and we did all the other stuff. Now they don't even have damage; you just got to have holes in your pants,
Right.
and stuff like that. Or
I remember making my own pair of Levi's like that. Boil them in a pot, and then put them on, and then wherever you sat down, it's like rip. Like
Right.
okay, yeah, there it is. Like there it is. That
Absolutely.
right in the right spot.
We tie-dyed our own stuff.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it was like okay, so now
Right. I mean, yeah, we set a lot of trends, but again, like that's the thing, that creativity. I mean, I guess there's still creativity on a lot of things outside of just music, but it just seems like now, especially because we're living in this we're living in the app age. Everything's an app, and we're living in the social media age, and that's really got a lot of that's really disrupting a lot of things, because it's like everybody's like, take a picture of my food, take a picture of me,
right.
Take a picture of me and my friends, take a picture of me and my friends with my food, take a picture of me and my friends with my food and other friends,
Right.
or make a collage, or talk about, I want to talk about how great my life is, because I couldn't do this before. It's like, yeah, but wouldn't your life still be great without social media?
Exactly.
You just, you're just out here like, well, I got to tell everybody how great my life is.
Right.
Why?
You got for the glamour.
Right. Why do you have to? I mean, not that you shouldn't, but still, like I'm doing pretty good myself. I have a house, I have a nice, gig. I got money in the bank, whatever. But y'all, nobody needs to know that but me.
Right.
Like I made this post one time before social media. Nobody knew how happy I was. Oh, I did.
Right.
I knew how happy I was.
The most important person.
Right. But that's the thing. It's like, especially for us as, Black folks, seems like we always gotta constantly tell, oh, I'm happy.
Right.
I'm happy, and I'm not. It's like, no, I'm realistic more than I am happy.
Right.
I'm realistic.
It's like,
and if you don't like,
I always say, who are you trying to convince?
Right.
You.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, if you're happy,
right. You don't have to. Who are you trying to convince?
You know who I am. If you
Right.
speak to me and I speak back, then everything is fine. I mean, if not, that's just the way it works. I mean, it's hard to always sit up here and try to figure out the way people are and how things are going. But I mean, you do what you can,
right,
and deal with it. Okay, so Bandcamp. Okay, tell everybody about your Bandcamp.
Oh, it's Milk Music, MILC Music on Bandcamp. So it might be, might have to put an M period, I period, L period, C period, because Milk is an acronym. But you can just put Milk Music. You'll see the little milk carton with the music spilling out of BMILC, and then or you can look for Mick Edits. It's on Bandcamp. It's also still on Juno also. Milk Music on Juno also, but I'm moving everything over to Bandcamp because it's a little more control. I have a lot more control over it, and
okay.
you get your money right away, whatever. Bandcamp, for everybody, like I was talking to a friend last night, he said he hadn't done one yet. I'm like, dude, start it up,
right.
Get it out there, get your Bandcamp going, and and that way you can see, and then they show you when people buy your stuff. It's like, oh yeah, so like that was another thing. a guy goes, it's like, hey, it's like now you can tell who bought you. Like, because if a guy buys your tune, and you'll know it, but then another guy's playing it. It's like, hey, I don't remember seeing you buy it.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, did you buy it or did you just get it from someone? And that's the big thing. Also, people think, well, yeah, that's the other thing with records. People think that, and I know we got to get, but people think that, well, if you have records, you sell records, that's better. I'm like, okay, it's fine, I get it. You print 200 copies, 200 people have your song. You made something like you sell it for $10, $20 or whatever. You made a little money. That's fine. But then, okay, then somebody else wanted you to print up another 200 copies. But, if we're not back in the, we're not in the Michael Jackson sell 1 million copies days.
Right. Exactly.
So my thing is, if somebody wants to buy it, I want them to have the opportunity to get it. People think that, if it's on download, then that one person's gonna buy it, then they're gonna give it to
just give it to everybody
They're gonna
else.
get like, no, they're not. I mean, because I know there's guys. I was reading this article about guys on Beatport getting 10,000 downloads because you got people who are buying. It's like, I'm not gonna wait for you to give it to me. I'm going to. That's how I am. I'll go buy the record. I don't care. Oh, that's nice. Where'd you get it from? Bandcamp, Traxsource. Well, okay, I'm going to buy more. It's like, I'll give it to you. No, don't worry about it. I'll support. I got a friend of mine, my buddy Brandon, who I do the show with, him and Ernest. They're like, I'll give it to him. He'll still go buy it.
Right.
He's like, oh man, I want that, and he'll still go buy it just to say, I spent the $2 or the $1, whatever. He'll still go buy it. Like, but we exchange stuff back and forth. So yeah, Bandcamp. It's Milk Music, and then it's Milk on Juno also, MILC Music, or Mick Edits. You can look up Mick Edits. You see the font, the big M font.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a big fan. Always have been. I love what you do,
Thanks for your support.
Oh no, man! Thanks
to everybody for their support.
So I mean,
thank you.
Go out, go to Bandcamp, look up Milk Music, support this brother. He's first of all, good man, good brother, solid, and then also the talent behind the person is even greater. So go out and support it. We have come to the end of the show. I want to thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming out because
thank you for having me out.
I got mad respect for you. This is
vice versa, sir.
WNUR 89.3 FM and HD1 Evanston, Chicago. This was the Vintage House Show. This is your boy DJ Rocky. I'll be back next month, third weekend. I will be doing I got some twins to bring in for that month. And everybody get their mind out the dirt. But I got some twins in, and we're gonna have a good time. Once again, I want to thank Mr. McAllister for coming all the way out here and spending time with us today. You guys have a good evening and take care. Good. So that's off. Yeah, I gotta get them off in there. So cool. Good. Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, no, that's
the.